Cool, Jason.
So, Vinny Appice, what's going on in the world of music with you?
Well, right now I got my new band called Kill Devil Hill, and we got an album that's coming out in May. I think May 22nd is the release date, and it's myself and Rex Brown from Pantera, who was on bass with Pantera and Down, and then Dewey Bragg on vocals, Mark Zavon on guitar, and those two guys are two new guys. You haven't heard of them yet, but you're going to hear of them. So the album's coming out, and really, really good stuff, great band, and I'm really excited about it. So that's my main project right now, my main band, you know. We're both, Rex and I want this to be a long-term thing and a real band. So that's what we got.
So with this, Vinny, we're going to be seeing tour dates, I'm presuming, very soon.
Yeah, we hope to do. We're probably going to do a couple of shows in April in the northwest of the U.S., and then we might go out in May, possibly with Adrenaline Mob as a double bill, and put that together too. And then obviously after that, the album will be out. We're gonna try to tour all summer, you know, and spread the word.
Another thing too I see in your agendas is drum clinics coming up.
Yeah, the one in Montreal. We started doing it's the drum clinic, and then there's also the Battle of the Bands that they're putting on, and that's at the same day. So since I'm coming up to Montreal, it'd be nice to do as much as we can. So we put together a drum clinic, and I'll be doing some teaching there, some playing, and then I have a couple of guys coming up and playing bass, guitar, and vocals, and we're going to do some Sabbath and Neo songs too. So it'll be a fun evening, and then we'll continue on to the Battle of the Bands, and it's going to be a pretty crazy evening.
As I'm sure with all this, we're going to be having a lot of autograph sessions coming out with that.
We'll do an autograph session, after the clinic. I'll be there, sign some autographs and stuff, and then I always do that anyway, for everybody that wants something signed, bring Dio records, Sabbath records, whatever. And it'll be a really good time.
Now, Vinny, do you participate on the internet at all? Like with your website that you have, which is a great website. Do you do anything else on the internet with this?
No, not yet. I wanted to try to do some lessons. And I've experimented with doing like one drum lesson, just audio and sheet music, like record the audio and then narrate it, and page one, exercise one, and then record what it sounds like on the drums. And that's been pretty good, but I gotta work on it some more. It's just a little test that's up there right now. But the internet's just the usual website and Facebook, and mainly for communication and information for fans and things like that. So it's a great tool. Spread the word,
One question here, I don't know if you answer too many times, is like, let's say electronic drums versus acoustic drums. What's your vision on this?
Well, I don't think there's any comparison, especially if you're playing rock or anything but maybe rap or something, that acoustic drums will always be the real sound, And electronic drums, they've gotten some great sounds with them now, and they just don't feel the same when you play them, and they also don't react the same the way you hit, as acoustic drums. So there's still a difference between the two. They'll never be the same or a replacement, It's nothing like real drums. Then and even the feel and the playing, and you can't get that across on electronic drums. It's just the little subtleties just don't work on electronics, Never use them, put it that way.
The electronic drums might help the parents at the house with the kids.
Yeah, that's about it. It's a good way to practice. I wouldn't suggest the kids, if somebody wanted to learn how to play drums, I wouldn't suggest just only playing on the electronic drums, because it's just a totally different feel and approach. But they are a good tool to practice with without making a lot of racket. If you're in your parents' house and you got to keep the noise levels down, it's a great tool for that. And it would be good to be playing, on practicing on the electronics and practicing on the acoustics at the same time.
Yourself, Vinny, do you practice much, to keep this style going? Because, I mean, you're an exceptional drummer, always been, and always will be. How do you keep this routine always going?
Well, I practice on the pad a lot, and I'll tell you what, I've been really busy these days, and there's not a lot of time for practicing, but when there is, I usually go down to a friend's studio, and I just play for a couple hours, and while I'm playing, I'll use one of those Zoom recorders, and the Zoom recorder is a great tool for coming up with different ideas, because when you play and practice, not with music, but just play yourself, you come up with something, you go, oh, this is cool, and you work on it, develop it a little bit, and then an easy way to remember it is to run the video recorder, It's a handheld device. Record it, and then save it, and then keep playing. You come across another one, I'll record it, and then eventually bring them back onto the computer. Yeah, great cell phones. So,
yes.
So the Zoom recorder is a great tool just to come up with ideas and different licks, while you're practicing.
So this is a tool you use a lot yourself?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best things I've ever used, It's so handy because it's small. It fits in. It basically fits in your pocket, and you could just leave it by your side. And then once you come across something you like that you play, you record it. And there's a lot of times you don't remember the things. If you go, oh, I'll remember that, and then you try it the next day, and it's not quite right. So this way you don't forget. And with the video, you could see how it looks while you're playing it. And that helps a lot too, visualizing it. So that's one of the great tools out there. Or any kind of recorder, but something, that's easy to use and fast like that.
One thing I'd like to talk about a little bit is, let's say the recording sessions, on, let's say 1981 Mob Rules, the drum sound you're using on this. Do you recall much how it changed, if it changed, from 1981 with Black Sabbath to Ronnie James Dio's The Last in Line album? Sound quality for your drums?
Yeah, well, the drums were all different sets, and the things that changed are the engineers and the production. On Mob Rules, Martin Birch produced it, and he did the first Black Sabbath album with Ronnie, Heaven and Hell, and there was a lot of low end on it, a different kind of, more low end on the album, clean but low, and a lot of bottom end, and so the drums sounded like that, and that's what he heard. And then Holy Diver became a little bit more punchy. I started tuning the drums up a little bit more, a higher pitch on the toms, because I had more toms to deal with. And, the sound changes as a little bit as years go on, but I think there's still the approach and the attack and the personality still remains the same. It's just the actual production end of it that changes, which is the sound, the way they record it, what mics they use, and technology gets, better too. And but it seems to get better and better and better. Then everybody wants to go back to the original stuff, like going back to tape now.
Right.
So it's pretty odd the way it goes around in a circle. But it's cool that, the different sounds fit the different types of music. Sabbath's different than Dio's different than Kill Devil Hill, and it all works, in the long run.
One other thing too that sometimes we notice on the old classic pictures is there's no bottom skin sometimes on your toms. Is this some sort of a way you used it live or in the studio back in the day?
Yeah, when I started playing, I had first drums I had. They actually had bottom heads on them, and then the Carmine. My brother Carmine was, he's 11 years older than I am, and I saw him play. He had a set from Ludwig with no bottom heads. I went, wow. So I started, the first set I got didn't have bottom heads. They were concert toms, they call them. And I just got used to them, and that's what I used for a while with Dio and Sabbath. And they have a lot of punch, they have a lot of punch where you mic them from underneath. They work good in the studio, it works good live. And then eventually, in the studio, I wound up using double-headed toms to give me more of a tone to the drum, a little longer tone. And then I started getting used to that sound and started using double heads all the time, you know. And they work better in a dull room. If the room is really soundproof and dead, a concert tom, you're going to hit it and it's going to ring and then it's going to die out.
Mm-hmm.
The double-headed toms will ring a little bit longer, give you a little more live sound. So, but in the early days, yeah, it was a lot of concert toms. A lot of people use them.
So for Kill Devil Hill, the recording session, the way it went, would you say, how was your drums recorded in this, you know, in a certain way?
That section, Warren Riker engineered the sessions, and we just put them up in a room, had some wood in it, and we had some plexiglass around the drums a little bit in the front and in the back, and we mic'd them close, and then we had a bunch of different room mics, you know, and we got a good sound that way. And then what we did on that album, we actually played the whole song live, you know. We didn't just cut and paste in the second verse or anything like that. We didn't use a click track either.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to go more old school, you know. So everybody was in the room together, and we just got warmed up like we were playing a gig and just slammed it, you know. Got it on tape. Got the best takes. So everything on that record's played all the way through. It's a real playing. A couple things were fixed here and there, things that needed to be fixed, but that's the way it goes anyway. So you always wind up cleaning it up. But it's a pretty live sounding record.
Well, Vinny, I appreciate you taking the time with me today and continue the legendary drumming because you've impressed a lot of people throughout the years.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And, you know, tell everybody to come on down to the clinic and the show, and also the website for Kill Devil Hill is killdevilhillmusic.com. You can go there and keep updated on the album. And my website's my name with a Y, Vinny with a Y, Appice.com. And I'm there. So it's really nice talking to you too, Jason, and thanks for the interview. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and keep up the great work.
All righty. Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.